It is 6:30 p.m., February 21st, 2017. I call this meeting of the Laramie City Council to order. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all rise and join me, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. City Clerk, can you do roll call, please?
Gabriel.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Henry.
Here.
McKinney.
Here.
Palikas.
Here.
Shumway.
Here.
Schuster.
Here.
Pierce.
Here.
Somerville.
Here.
That's 9 present and 0 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you. This evening, we do have a proclamation for Disabilities Awareness Month. And I apologize, hopefully my voice doesn't cut out in the middle of this. Whereas disabilities in no way diminishes the right of individuals to live independently, enjoy self-determination, make choices, contribute to society, and experience the economic, political, social, cultural, and educational mainstream of American society. Whereas family members, friends, and members of the community can play a vital role in enhancing the lives of people with disabilities, especially when the family and community are provided with necessary support services, and public and private employers are aware of the capabilities of people with disabilities to be engaged in competitive work in inclusive settings. Whereas the goal of this city include providing individuals with disabilities the opportunity and support to make informed choices and decisions, live in homes and communities where they can exercise their full rights and responsibilities as citizens, pursue meaningful and productive lives, contribute to their family, community, state, and nation, have interdependent friendships and relationships with others, and achieve full inclusion in society. Whereas thousands in Wyoming face challenges with disabilities daily. Whereas the month of March has been designated as Disability Awareness Month to celebrate and recognize disabled individuals and promote awareness. Now, therefore, I, Andy Somerville, Mayor of the City of Laramie, do hereby proclaim March 2017 as Laramie Disabilities Awareness Month and encourage all citizens, businesses, public and private agencies, religious and educational institutions to join in observing the month in honor of persons with disabilities. And I believe we have a couple of members of our Laramie Disabilities Commission, Mr. Nicholas Wiseman and John Pullen. Would you come up? Come up.
Thank you.
You can come up and accept the proclamation. Thank you very much for everything that you guys do with the Disabilities Commission. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much for your service.
Your Honor, the
Councilor Hanson.
Disabilities Commission will be on the agenda a little later too, because we need to appoint people to the commission. The city does have a Disabilities Commission. I've been a liaison for many years, and we hope to have a full complement on this commission fairly soon again. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We do not have any public hearings tonight, so next item on our agenda is announcement. Commissioner Jones.
Good evening. So nice to see all of you again. Mayor Somerville and Councilman Shumway, on the behalf of Chairman Tim Chestnut and Commissioner Richardson and myself, we would like to thank you for attending the first Meet and Greet Government Breakfast on Thursday, February 9th. We believe this was the first of many breakfasts that will enhance communication between the City Council and the County Commissioners. Our next breakfast will be the second Thursday of the month, which is March 9th at 7 a.m. to 8:30 at Perkins. We welcome all council members, even for a little cup of coffee. You know, you can just run in. It's very casual. This is open to anyone that's interested in coming. Along with council members Somerville and Shumway, a number of elected officials, members of the public, and press were in attendance. We know not everyone can attend every time, but we hope to see as many of you as possible. I want to thank you for your participation, and I believe that we're headed down a path of goodwill and partnership. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Jones.
Good evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
And also under announcements, it is the council's understanding that Mr. Tom Martin of Interfaith Good Samaritan is retiring from that position. And the council wanted to give you thanks for your years of service. So I want to start off with saying that I did not know this, but Mr. Martin was an intern 17 years ago who eventually got the position as director and has served for 17 years at Interfaith Good Samaritan. In addition to his service there, we know he has another job. Tom always works 80 to 100 hours a week. He's on call 24 hours a day and puts his heart into everything that he does. Some of the things that he does do that have been crucial to this community is helping through Interfaith Good Samaritan, providing assistance for utilities, returning vets, helping with transitions from hospital and police. One of the most effective ideas has been the backpack program for Albany County school kids. He has helped manage so many different grants and programs that come into Interfaith Good Samaritan. The commodities distribution, the temporary assistance to needy families, the FEMA grants, Guthrie Foundation grants, the Community Service Block Grant, Energy Share, United Way, community partner grants from the city and county, and the Elbogen Foundation, and I'm sure there's many, many more where that came from. And your service through Interfaith has made a tremendous difference. You took a part-time program with part-time hours and have really expanded it to be a mainstay of the community, and it has been crucial to many, many of our citizens, and we know how hard you've worked. I just, on behalf of the council, we want to say thank you for all of your years of service. We're very, very sad to see you go and retire, but you have left a legacy that I think those will be some big shoes to fill for the next director, and we wish you the best of luck in the future. So thank you very much.
It's been people of Albany County and Laramie that have made my job so much easier, because every time something happened, the community pulls through. And without that, we wouldn't be where we are now. And because of the volunteers, Interfaith would be so small. The volunteers do so much. I'm not retiring. My next endeavor is to start a community action agency of Albany County. Hal Waddell started this in 1977. But it fell through. It never got off the ground. I think I can make it happen, and because a community action agency has access to 4 more community service block grants that we as Interfaith didn't have, it's going to bring about $300,000 more dollars into Albany County for assistance. So.
That is wonderful. So we can say, instead of happy retirement, happy next endeavor.
Yes. And Madam Mayor, council members, thank you for your support over the years, and I hope you support the next director of Interfaith, saying that you supported me.
We certainly will. We sincerely appreciate your service. And I understand that Ms. Palmer has something to present you with.
In my humble way. Tom's been here for all kinds of things. He's beastly practical. So you give out food, right? And Councilman wanted to add this, but I have a whole thing to add to you. But you meet people at their need. So you give out food, and I give you can openers. So when they get food, they have opportunity I can open it up.
Okay.
As you open their hearts to those who are more needy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We just had someone donate 100 P38s to us. That's the can openers that came with C ration. Because we're out of I'm headed to the office now and I'm going to leave them there and that way people can use them.
Well-
And Klaus, as everybody around here knows, like Joe, is like, this man is with everyone in their need.
Yes, he
Thank you.
does.
God bless you. Absolutely. And you're stubborn what?
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, John.
Good luck.
Well, I'm not retired yet, so I'm going back to work. Thank you.
Next item on our agenda, do we have any disclosures by city council members on any of the items on our agenda this evening? Seeing none, I will turn it over to the vice mayor.
Okay, I move that the agenda be set as submitted.
Second.
There's a motion, a second by Councilor Shumway. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Vice Mayor?
Let's see, I move that the consent agenda be approved and that each specific action on the consent agenda be approved as indicated.
Second. Second by Councilor Henry. City Clerk, can you do roll call, please?
Gabriel,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Kalikas,
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Schuster,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Somerville.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you. The motion carries. On to the regular agenda. Item number 10, Councilor Hanson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to move that council approve the ground lease agreement between the City of Laramie and the Air Resource Specialists Incorporated for the temporary placement of an air quality monitoring station near 9th Street and Russell Streets, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Schuster. Director Feaser.
Honorable Mayors, City Council, Todd Fieser, Director of Parks and Recreation. What you have before you is a ground lease agreement with Air Resource Specialist who's come to the City of Laramie as on behalf of the Wyoming Department of Environmental Quality to place a temporary air quality monitoring station at 9th and Russell Street. There's a little bit of question as to whether it's 9th and Russell Street or 9th and Spring Creek. I believe it's Russell, but that's where we landed. The intent of this air monitoring station is to monitor for, then, let me get to the right page. To sample ambient concentrations of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, and particulate matter, methane, and meteorology in the populated area of Laramie. Air Resources Specialist Representative Brian Bebo visited the sites and chose this location based on its proximity to residential neighborhoods and the available electrical source to provide the power for the unit. It's the intent of the ground lease is to provide $150 per month for 14 months to the City of Laramie for this operation, and it is planned to be temporary. Brian Bebo from Air Resource Specialists is here, as well as Daniel Sharon from the Wyoming Department of Environmental Quality. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Director Feaser? Councilor Schuster?
Everything they're doing is, I hate to say, they're gonna provide their own electrical hookups and their own electric meter and everything, so it'll be completely, okay, all right.
Honorable Mayor, through you, correct.
Any other questions for Director Feaser? Councilor Hanson?
I'm interested why this was brought forward by the Air Quality Division. Has there anybody in the city complained about air quality, or how did this come about? Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, I turn that question over.
Mr. Sharon?
Yes. Madam Mayor, council members, I'm Daniel Sharon with the Wyoming Air Quality Division. I'm the project manager for our mobile monitoring project, and one of the mobile monitoring stations would be the station that we'd place in Laramie. So to answer your question, Councilmember Hanson, Laramie was identified in the Air Quality Division's 2015 network assessment, where we do a comprehensive analysis of our monitoring network and identify any potential data gaps. So there were no complaints for this area. It was just identified that the city of Laramie had no historic gaseous pollutant data and not a lot of MET or particulate matter data. So this is really just to fill a data gap.
Thank you.
Yes. Any
Yeah,
more?
and I should also disclose that I'm a member of the advisory board of the Air Quality Division, and I knew about it, of course. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sir.
Councilor Hudson. Thank you, Mr. Schron. Councilor Gabriel.
Just curious, on a windy day like today, and then as compared to a calm day, what kind of readings do you get?
Well, that's really, it really depends on the pollutant. Windy days, we can see a lot more particulate matter, but it also depends on the location too and the kind of sources that are nearby. So Laramie has, for instance, a large Title V emission source upwind of the city, so you might expect to see a little bit more there on windy days than on calm days. But calm days can also bring ozone, so it really depends on the pollutant.
Any other questions?
So then, what if you find something that's, off the charts or something, then what happens?
Sure. So the purpose of the mobile monitoring stations is to get kind of a snapshot of the air quality in a given area. They're typically in place for about a year. And so at the end of that time period, we do a complete data review, look at any kind of what we call exceedances of national ambient air quality standards, and depending on what those show, we might consider putting a more long-term station in place, but it really just depends on what the data shows.
Any other questions from council for anyone else? Okay. Director Feaser?
Honorable Mayor, if I could add, Air Resource Specialist did notify all the homeowners within 300 feet of this location via mail about the intent and the reason for the air monitoring station. And we did receive one comment. The comment was supportive overall of the air quality monitoring. Their concern was about its relation to the green waste containers that are in that location also. This will be farther to the east, so it won't have any impact on the function of the green waste containers.
Thank you, Director Feaser.
Can we find out what this equipment looks like? Is it just a little portable cart? What's it look like?
There's a picture?
Honorable Mayor, through you, if I can show you the picture. It should be in your packet, Councilor Hanson, but it's just a double axle trailer.
Okay, thank you.
About 5 years ago, they had one up in the Snowy Range in the snowmobile parking lot, and it was there for 2 years.
Any other questions? Any comments from the public on this item? Any comments from council regarding this item? Okay. City Clerk, can you do a roll call? Oh. I backtrack. Public comment. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Chris Moody, 1014 South 9th, and I'm one of the residents that are nearby, and I love collecting data. I'm good that we're seeing what the ambient air quality is in Laramie, and so I'm very supportive of it. I mean, I am just curious what has come out of these kinds of monitoring stations in the past. I'm sure you've been doing this for, I don't know how many years, and this is a gap in the in their data, regional. But where does this go? Maybe a little more detail. Thanks.
Mr. Moody, would you mind signing the sheet there on the table? Thank you very much. Mr. Schroen, if you can answer that.
Sure. So I can say, generally speaking, Wyoming has pretty good air quality, but again, it's very location specific, which again is why we're focusing on Laramie, because we don't have any historical data here. There are pockets of kind of bad air quality in the state. For example, the Upper Green River Basin has an ozone issue, especially during the winter time. Right now, we're having ozone episodes. So really, when we identify an area that has issues such as that, it kind of calls for enhanced monitoring and potentially some regulatory impacts on the area. But it really just depends on what comes out of the data.
Thank you very much. Councillor Hanson?
Your Honor, having been there, and you mentioned it, there is a permanent monitoring station up in the Snowy Range, as a matter of fact. And it has had some problems once in a while. Not problems, the station hasn't had any problems, but we've had problems with the air quality up in the Snowy Range at times. So that's an interesting side observation. That's the closest station to Laramie, as a matter of fact.
Is that the Centennial station?
Yeah, above Centennial, above Centennial. The suspicion is that the air comes over from the south over the mountains, and it does monitor quality or diminished quality of air at times. Just since Mr. Moody asked that question. Okay.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions or comments from council?
I just have a specific question.
Mr. Moody, if you could come to the podium, please.
I'm sorry. I have a wood burning stove, and so do my neighbors. And so, and if wood burning stoves caused an air quality problem, so be it. You know, we'll deal with that. I'm just curious whether there have been any places in the state that wood burning stoves has caused an air, specifically as a primary source, caused an air quality problem in Wyoming.
If you can answer that.
Sure. I'm not aware that has been specifically identified as an issue for a specific location. It would show up, as far as the pollutants we measure, would show up as particulate matter of kind of the smaller size cut. But yeah, it hasn't really been something that we've dealt with, maybe just because of based on the locations that we've chosen to monitor at in the past. But yeah, it'll be something we look at if we're seeing a lot of particulate matter, I guess.
Vice Mayor Pierce.
So, my question, do you have other monitors in other cities or relatively downtownish kind of, or pretty population concentration areas in the state?
Yes, that's where most of our monitors are, because that's kind of the directive of the DEQ is to protect the public health. And the National Ambient Air Quality Standards are health-based standards, so it doesn't make much sense to monitor in a place where there are no people. So we have one of our mobile monitoring stations actually in Cheyenne right now. The other one is in Casper. So, and then we monitor all sorts of, in pretty much all of the major cities in Wyoming.
Thank you very much.
Certainly.
Any other questions or comments by council? City Clerk, can you do roll call, please?
Hanson,
Yes.
Gabriel,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Schuster,
Yes.
Shumway,
Yes.
Polikis,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Somerville.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 noes, Your Honor.
Thank you. That motion passes. Moving on to item number 11, Councillor Hanson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to move that council appoint Jasper Hunt for a term expiring October 31st, 2019, as well as Donna McElwee for a term expiring October 31st, 2018, to the Laramie Advisory Commission on Disabilities, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Pierce. Counselor Hanson, is there anything that we need to add to this?
Just to mention, we will interview one more candidate because we have more positions to fill. These people were interviewed by the vice mayor and myself, and very competent candidates for the commission. It needs a full complement again to function. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from council on this item? Any comments from the public? Any comments from council on this? City Clerk, roll call, please.
Hanson,
Yes.
Gabriel,
Yes.
Schuster,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Polikis,
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Somerville.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you. That motion carries. Item number 12, Counselor Hanson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm really not used to doing the whole show by myself, and I can't operate that quickly. Let me see, this is 12?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, okay. I move that council appoint Councillor Vicky Henry to the Community Juvenile Service Board for the remainder of the current term ending May 27th, 2019, per the Memorandum of Understanding, and authorize the mayor and clerk to sign.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Pierce, or Vice Mayor Pierce. Any questions on this from council?
It's a joint board, by the way, between the county and the city.
That is correct, and this was a board that Counselor Weaver was serving on previously.
Yes.
We need to replace the position. Any comments from the public on this item? Comments from council? City Clerk, roll call, please.
Hanson,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Schuster,
Yes.
Polikis,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Gabriel,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Somerville.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you. That motion carries. Item number 13, Counselor Gabriel.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a clarification on the length of terms because we appointed these 3 members to the Laramie Plains Civic Center Joint Powers Board 2 weeks ago, but length of terms is clarified here tonight. So I would move to approve Resolution 2017-15, appointing Tim Gaddis and Lelia Olenek to serve the remainder of 3-year terms ending October 31st of 2017, and reappoint Robin Hill to serve a successive 3-year term ending October 31st of 2019, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to sign.
Second.
Second by Counselor Schuster. Counselor Gabriel, any other explanation needed for this?
No.
Okay. Any questions from council? Any comments from the public? Comments from council? City Clerk, roll call, please.
Gabriel,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Polikis,
Yes.
Shumway.
Yes.
Schuster,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Somerville.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses and 0 nos, Your Honor.
Thank you. That motion carries. Item number 14 is public comments on non-agenda items. Do we have any members of the public that would like to speak this evening? Seeing none, we'll move to the next item. That's item number 15 is consideration of future council work session topics. Do we have any suggestions? Councilor Schuster.
I had a couple of business owners come meet with me downtown, and they're very disturbed about the parking in normal parking places out there. They went to work at 8 o'clock, and every single spot on the entire length of Second Street is taken up. And talked to them about something that was suggested by one of our staff and team of a monitoring unit that goes into a car instead of chalking the tires, because they just come out and erase the chalk. They're not even moving the car, they just come out and erase the chalk. And this unit, when it goes by, it records license plate numbers and the GPS of the vehicle spot. So that when they drive by, again, they say, this car, this car, this car, this car needs tagged. And we need to move into the 21st century. And we need to look into something like that. It would easily pay for itself because there's a tremendous amount of people not following the ordinances down there. And I realize that we do have, it's funny that we say we have a parking issue around the university, we have a parking issue downtown too. And I tried to go down for a Friday meal at noon, and not a single spot in the entire downtown, and hundreds of cars circling.
Counselor Schuster, so right now we have parking as requested by Counselor Shumway already on the work session list.
Okay. I thought maybe,
more-
I didn't know if that was around the university or if that was for downtown.
I think it's
Or
both.
both.
I think it is both. But if I'm hearing you, you'd like to add an enforcement piece to that policy discussion about the parking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if we want people to shop downtown, they gotta be able to park downtown too.
And so we need to make it a policy and enforcement. Is there support on council for adding that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Counselor Hanson?
Your Honor, I know we had this discussion, of course, years ago about parking meters and how tough it is to maintain parking meters, et cetera. The new system that I've seen all over the place, for example, in Denver, is you have a stationary pay automation thing sitting somewhere in the middle of the block, and you go there and you put your money in or your credit card, and you pick it, you get a ticket out of it. That way, we wouldn't only punish parking, long overdue parking, but we would also collect some money from the people who did park down there. And I would suggest that when we have this kind of discussion, we look at something like that because it's very cost efficient and it does make money. And money is, well, in tight supply for the city anyway. So I would suggest to add that to the discussion. These things, of course, work with credit cards, which is really nice. It's really getting into, we've talked about getting into the 21st century. This would be a way to do it.
Well, I think it would be helpful when we have work sessions like this, if you have specific ideas about what you'd like discussed at the work session, I think we should make sure the city manager knows about that, so communicate with the city manager on your particular idea so that we can make sure that we make that part of the work session discussion. Are there any other work session requests? I have one that we discussed at the retreat. It's not my request, but it was discussed pretty heavily, and that was on noise ordinances and enforcement. We had a pretty robust discussion about that. Is there interest in putting that on as a work session?
Jane and I have both hands up.
All right. So we will have that noise ordinances and enforcement. So taking a look at not only what we have on the books, but how it is enforced. And please communicate your thoughts, feelings to the city manager's office on that, so we can cover everything during the work session. Anything else that we can add? Okay. Moving on to item number 16.
Move that council adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we are adjourned.